vision.
Until Shabbos, Chabra. I'm sorry. So sorry. We're mamish getting into it. Our feet need to be on the ground though, right now, while also floating. Listening to the Niggun was just floating. I heard a beautiful Torah before we start from my friend. I'm not going to say the name because I don't know if he wants me to mention his name, but he quoted one of our holy masters, Rav Pinchas of Koretz. And Rav Pinchas of Koretz, one of the students of the Bal Shem, the holy Bal Shem Tov, once said that a tefillah is a tefillah if it's b'shem kol Yisrael. And if it's not b'shem kol Yisrael, it's not a tefillah. So just a little advice for all of us before we say this little tefillah from Rav Nachman, Rav Breslov, but also in our future tefillahs, everything's got to be b'shem kol Yisrael. B'shem kol Yisrael. Rav Nachman. Bring me to perfect faith, Ribbana Shalom, so I'll be able to draw close to and become united with the true tzaddikim of this world. They are the embodiment of the seven shepherds through whom all holiness is revealed. Through them, bring me, my children, and your entire nation, the house of Israel, to true faith, perfect faith. The tefillah goes on more and more, but I feel like that's a good stopping point for the Zoom. And if you want the rest of the tefillah, obviously I'll send you it. Being at the 7th Sheva Bracha for Uri and Abby tonight, we all know them. Something was going through my mind that I saw the other day. And I'll try tying this into a teaching from Rav Nachman. The Bal Shem Tov once said that there could be a time where we feel the fire, where we feel the motivation, where we feel the ability to get closer to Hashem, to want to get closer to Hashem, feeling that fire, that yearning, that longing to get closer. Mamish like the fire in back of me, the fire of the candles. But there are times where you may not feel that longing, that fire, that passion, right? Many of us went to yeshiva, some to mechina, some to the army. And there are definitely times we can all relate to this where we feel so close to Hashem and then we feel so far. But what happens, chas v'shalom, to some people when they feel so far? They may just throw in the towel. They may just give up. The Bal Shem Tov says, a true Chassid is not one who measures success, who measures who they were yesterday and who they are today, and the comparison between the two. A true Chassid is one who is engaged. engaged in the relationship with the Ribono Shel Olam. Not the one who's measuring success, because we all know someone who's measuring success is really serving themselves. They're not serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right, but constantly being engaged with the Ribono Shel Olam, discussing with the Ribono Shel Olam all the great things that you're doing and all the horrible things, Chas v'Shalom, that we're doing, all the disgusting things that we may feel like we can never share with anyone. Bal Shem Tov says that's a true Chassid. Mirz Hashem, all of us will get married very soon. But you take a husband and wife. When there's some friction, they don't run away from each other. Right? They don't throw in the towel. They don't give up. They don't forget their life. Chas v'Shalom, some do, but let's just use the example right now that they don't throw in the towel, right? Same too with our relationship with Hashem. When there's one test that doesn't go, when there's one situation that doesn't go our way, let's not throw in the towel. Let's be a true chassid, like the Bal Shem Tov said. And we all know the teaching from Rav Nachman, even a little is precious. There are people who draw close to God, but later fall away. Even so, the short time they serve God is very precious in His eyes, no matter what happens later. We learned this Torah many times together. We've been together for so long. But this Torah is so geschmack and so related to what we're talking about. I also heard a story, now I'm going in all different directions. I could be getting the story wrong. I'm not exactly sure. So if someone knows it, you could just contact me afterwards. But the Helige Riziner, I think his name was Rabbi Uri something, Strelix. He passed away. And he was close to the Riziner, if I remember correctly. And the holy Israel of Rizin went up to his kids, the Strelitzer's kids, and he asked, what did you learn most about your father? And the kids looked at each other and they answered the holy Riziner. Our father would always ask us, what are we doing right now? So this goes in accordance with what the holy Bal Shem Tov is telling us and what the holy Rav Nachman is telling us. What are we doing right now? Are we engaged with Hashem? Are we understanding that the little we do right now is so precious in the eyes of Hashem? So, Mirz Hashem, we should constantly be asking ourselves, what are we doing right now? Am I engaged? Despite my failures, despite my shortcomings, despite the beauty that I'm doing, I still want to make a connection with Hashem. I still want to make that bridge. We all have to have this constant yearning, this constant questioning of ourselves. And any situation we're in, whether we're in bed and we're watching Netflix, not saying that's a horrible thing, but you feel that need inside to go learn, to go call a friend, ask yourselves, what are we doing right now? And hopefully that can give us more motivation to get out. Or I haven't been getting outside much lately. Want to play some basketball. What am I doing right now? I'll give you that motivation to jump in your basketball shoes and run to the court. So Bezrat Hashem Chavra, you should understand how important that question is, how important the teachings of the Bal Shem Tov are, how important the teachings of Rav Nachman, Rav Pinchas Of Koretz, B'Shem Kol Yisrael, and finally the Helige Riziner and the Strelitsker's kids. Bezrat Hashem. Questions, comments, please feel free.
There's a deep story. And I'll just say the story. On Simchas Torah, Rav Shlomo Carlebach was visiting Russia. One of the Simchas Torahs, I don't remember the exact year, forgive me. And in Russia, I don't remember the exact town as well, so you'll forgive me for that too. Everyone knows during that time in Russia, the communists and the Soviets were very strong in their efforts towards eradicating religious practice amongst the common people, as they have been for hundreds of years prior, not only in the 1900s, but also in the hundreds of years prior, starting back to who knows when. We already know that there was many persecutions against the Yidden in the 1400s, 1500s, 13, 14, all the years. But this particular Simchas Torah in Russia, Rav Shlomo was there, trying to bring Simcha to the Russian Yidden. After Hakafos of that Simchas Torah at night, Rav Shlomo noticed a young woman who looked like she was broken down. She was broken. So he went up to her and said, Shalom Aleichem, Good Yontif. And she started crying, ran away. So Shlomo, being who he was, followed after her and said, my dearest, what's going on? And eventually he followed her down an alleyway, and she was just standing in the alleyway crying with her back turned to everyone. And Shlomo approached her and said, my dearest, what's going on? And she said, sir, you don't understand. My father's a sworn communist, and he hates religion to the point where he couldn't, if he were to know that if I was just outside the synagogue, then I think he would disown me. But I have to tell you the truth. I wanted a few number of months ago, or some time ago, I was having such a yearning to come close to Judaism that I couldn't handle it anymore. I ran out of my house and I ran to the shul, to the synagogue, and I went to the nearest person. I said, you, sir, teach me anything. Teach me any Torah. Teach me any words that you know that I can say every day. And so the man taught me, the girl saying, the man taught me Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. And the first line of the Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And that's all I know, says the girl to Reb Shlomo. And every Friday night, when I see the sun going down, and I know that the Jewish girls are lighting Shabbos candles, all I know, I'm sitting there by the windowsill, and I'm singing to myself, Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And at this point, the girl told her Shlomo this, and everyone knows that Aleph Be Gimel Dalet Hey is higher than any davening that we can ever understand in our whole lives. So why did I bring this up? Jackie spoke about the ability and the ratzon of being engaged. And we see that this girl from Russia, who L'chora had no religious connection, her family, clearly her father has intentions that she not be connected to Judaism whatsoever, but she had a yearning. She was engaged. Not only was she engaged in a manner of she wants to come close, but in a manner of she's literally engaged, like a husband to a wife, like a fiance to the fiance. They're engaged, like a man and woman. She was engaged, like every single one of us is engaged right now to Hashem, and we're waiting for the holy day, the holy wedding to come, and the chuppah. We're waiting for the holy chuppah. We're waiting for the holy building, the holy home, the holy Beis Hamikdash that we're soon going to build. But she was engaged, and we all have to be engaged. And she was saying to herself on Friday nights by the windowsill, Hashem Yisbarach, I'm engaged to you. I'm your wife. Come and save me from this wretched house. Take me to a new home. How is she doing that? By saying, Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. I'm not going to go into what that line and the first 5 letters of the Torah are about, because that'll take another 120 years. But we should know that even the small Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey reaches higher than any single person could ever imagine in their entire lives. Even the great tzaddikim know that. We know that the Gemara says that a place that the tzaddikim stand, the Bal Tshuva stand, the tzaddikim can't stand there. Meaning that the Bal Tshuva is higher. That Russian girl seeing the Aleph Beit Gimel Daled Hey is higher than the greatest tzaddikim that we can ever think of. I dare I say it. Higher than the Bal Shem Tov. Higher than all his Chassidim. Including myself, including Jack, including Davey. Because we're all big tzaddikim. We should know and be able to tap into the Aleph Beit Gimel Daled Hey and the Shema. Gewalt.
How privileged are we, Mamish? How privileged, Davey? How privileged. So privileged.
We're very privileged, Davey. You and I, we're very privileged.
We're very, very privileged. Wow. As the days go on, they just get better and better. Mamish, just being with you guys. We're so privileged. Thank you, Ribbana Shalom. B'Shem Kol Yisrael. B'Shem Kol Yisrael. However, we should all be healthy, happy, and successful in whatever we do. Whether we're Mechina, trying to make that transition, Baruch Shalom should give you Shefa, Davey. My bracha to you is just to have the eyes open. Samson. So deep. Your Aleph is so deep. And because you always remind me of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Chabad. The Rebbe once said, I think, you could correct me if I'm wrong, if you know Aleph and teach Aleph, I'm not saying you know only Aleph, but your Aleph is so deep. So my bracha to you is just to give over the Aleph, give over to the Aleph, to everyone, mamash, everyone. Tzrat Hashem Chavra. Continue tomorrow. This is too good. This is too much. All right, be well, Chavra.